It's Sunday and it's Wellness Nerd Out time! How's your Sunday going? I hope it's going great. Happy Wellness Nerd Out time, guys. Today what I want to talk about is how we can manage hypertension, high blood pressure if we have it. So, first off, lifestyle modifications. You're going to have little to no alcohol. And if it's going to be a glass of red wine, at least it contains resveratrol, a powerful antioxidant that has been found in red grape skin, also in green grape skin, but more so in red grape skin. That's been shown to improve some blood flow, so that would be a good thing. Because in hypertension, that's measuring the force, right, is the blood pressure of the blood batting against the artery walls. And if it's higher, the heart is to work harder, and organs eventually, fail. Like any machine, our organs are no different, as they are biological machines, right? And just making your body work harder in general, whether it's things like stress that do that, but unhealthy forms of stress, right? Healthy forms of stress are good, say intermittent fasting and high-intensity exercise, especially cardiovascular exercise. So we want more cardio. Those are healthy forms of stress, okay? Calorie restriction and exercise, okay? Pretty much all other forms of stress are not good, so we don't want that. We're going to reduce stress. We're going to sleep more. You're going to get 8 hours of sleep. Just great for your metabolism. And when you talk about the endocrinology, for example, Harvard came out with a study showed 15% decrease in testosterone production with only 5 hours of sleep. Every hour less than that, another 15% reduction in testosterone levels, for example. So we produce a lot of growth hormone while we sleep. Metabolic enzymes are active. We produce more of them that'll be active the next day. Lipolytic enzymes that'll help break down fat, things like that. So it's very important to get a lot of sleep. And sleeping in a cold environment also bodes well. We've said in the past the NIH recommends 66 degrees to maximize beneficial effects on metabolic parameters, such as fat burning, converting stored white fat to brown fat, and improving insulin sensitivity or glycemic control. Right. So that's some good stuff. So we want to do all that. We don't want to smoke. Definitely no smoking. No smoking, no drinking. Again, we want low sodium, and we're going to limit caffeine. Okay? Low sodium, limit caffeine. You're going to do more aerobic exercise. You're going to stop eating 4 hours before bed and 4 hours after you wake up. And I already know you're getting 10 would be nice. I got 10 hours of sleep today for break. 8 hours of sleep, right? Like we said. Good for your metabolism and just recovery in general for your body, your cognitive function, everything. We don't even need to get into that. So 8 hours of sleep as well. And when we talk about diet modifications, well, there's something called the DASH diet. Basically, you're going to have a lot of fruits and vegetables and whole grains. You're going to limit and cut out, if you can, processed foods, refined sugars and flours, baked goods, things high in trans fats, added sugars. We're going to stop that. Okay, so typically people take ACE inhibitors, right? Angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors for high blood pressure, hypertension, right? But naturally, I mentioned the diet and lifestyle first because that's what we focus on. Supplementation second. What's up, you guys? What's up, Sean? What's up, Dan? How you doing, brother? Good to see you guys on here. Hope you're having a great day. Yeah, that's right, Sean. It's no good smoking. So, in terms of natural supplementation, we have things like berberine. It comes from plants, such as Oregon grape, for example. They got weird names. Doesn't really matter. But a plant compound can help to improve insulin sensitivity, has good effects on cardiometabolic parameters, lower blood pressure, things like that. And rarely do we see something that stacks up to pharmaceutical drugs in its potency, and berberine is one of those exceptions. So berberine, very good. We also see it for type 2 diabetes mellitus, right? Now, it's not to say that's first line. What's your first line? Don't tell me some medication. Conservative first, lifestyle and diet changes and exercise, right? Comes in a lifestyle, you're going to sleep more, like we said. All those good things. Then medication second, if you must, and surgery absolute last. That's a general rule when approaching a patient's unique case, right? So in this case, we're not really thinking about surgery right now. But you can take meds, and that's the easy Band-Aid, and you're going to need to take more and more and more and more and more. You can get to the root of the problem, and you can just change your lifestyle. So we talked about those foods. So what is a simple thing we can remember? Because you want some potassium-rich foods rich in magnesium, and without even getting into any of that, any of the specifics, because I want you to just take the things that really should drive home here. If you can't find it in nature, you probably shouldn't be eating it. If you can't kill it, extract it from an animal, pick it, find it and drink it in nature, pretty much just water. Coffee comes from coffee beans, tea from leaves, right? So that kind of stuff's okay. It makes sense. That kind of stuff is okay. But use common sense. The more we seem to learn about science here, and all the mechanisms by which things work, the simpler it gets. The simpler it gets. Live naturally. Live to your fullest potential. Test yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Do good things for yourself. Whether it be posture, diet, exercise, anything, right? That's a whole thing. Supplements, before we get too off track, for reducing blood pressure. We said berberine. Nitrates we find especially in dark leafy greens, whether it be kale or spinach, arugula, all that good stuff. And they promote the production of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates, relaxes, and dilates blood vessels, improving blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues. So nitrates, great. Now, you don't really see nitrates in supplements, high regulations on sodium nitrates. So, the different things here. The best bet is just to get them from food. So get your dark leafy greens, okay? Fish oil, omega-3s, aside from being essential components in neurological structure and functioning, absolutely they are great for lowering blood pressure, just improving your heart health overall. We should definitely be having our omega-3s, okay? So fish oil, or eating fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, tuna, herring. What else does herring have a lot of? Salmon, these fish. Creatine, right? So it's a lot of B vitamins, right? A lot of lean protein, all the healthy fats. So these things are not one-shot deals, as we say. It's like the difference between recommending melatonin for sleep or going with something like magnesium that improves insulin sensitivity, is essential for bone health and immunity and vitamin D synthesis and activation and metabolism and muscle protein synthesis and all this other good stuff. Relaxing muscles, relaxing you neurologically, and relaxing your blood vessels. Bringing us to the next one, magnesium, which we just said a lot of good stuff about. Magnesium. You're going to go for citrate or lactate, as they're the best absorbed forms of magnesium. Gluconate and glycinate aren't bad either. We're going to stay away from oxide for the most part. It doesn't absorb quite as well as the others. Okay. So let's see what else we have on our list. Ginger. Ginger in general, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties, cardioprotective, a lot of good stuff with ginger. We've talked the other day on here more or less about ginger improving symptoms of chemotherapy, like nausea, fatigue, vomiting. It's just interesting. Some of these things are just good for so many different things, and that's why they've been used in traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine, which would be more Indian. Things like, ginkgo biloba and rhodiola roseroot and all this stuff. But ginger, things that fall into the ginger category, things in the ginger family seem to be especially potent. Turmeric is another example of something like that, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties, right? So kind of stuff is great. And turmeric is another one that can help to improve some blood flow, maybe good for reducing blood pressure as well. Right? But again, lifestyle before all of this stuff, and if you're taking medications, talk to your doctor about interactions with any of these before trying them yourself. Okay. So even if you're on medication, they'll change your lifestyle. If I can't stop you from taking meds and trying to be natural, at least just change your lifestyle while doing that. Okay. So I think that's about everything we have for you guys today. Chanel, what's going on? How you doing, girl? Good to see you on here. I hope you're having a great Sunday. I really do. Yeah. So, guys, have a great rest of your day. One last one I want to mention before we go, citrulline. Citrulline is in the nitric oxide pathway, and we say it goes citrulline, arginine, nitric oxide. You can also get there from nitrates, converted to nitrites to nitric oxide. We talked about that from the standpoint, from the side of eating those dark leafy greens and things like that. Where do we find L-citrulline? You actually find a lot of watermelon, for example. So watermelon is just really high in sugar, so we want to be careful not to have too much sugar, right? Even if it's natural, okay? And you know, too much of anything isn't good, but if we're going to have sugar, we're going to have soluble fiber, those fruits and veggies, because they have other things in them that slow the absorption of those carbohydrates. They improve the digestion, and our insulin sensitivity is much better than if we were to have these simple carbs, these candies, these cakes, these processed foods that our body can't quite handle all that sugar at once. They don't come with the other natural components we find in these plants and fruits that help us deal with the blood sugar. So again, no secret, as we always, or at least we said before, the more you know about the science, the less you really need to know. Get it from nature. It has other things that go with it that help your body naturally deal with it better. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy wellness. I get excited. I could talk all day, but I have to leave. Okay. Bye. What up, K. Croy? How you doing?